emptied out my soul. You've heard it all before, honest but I know. Left these years ago, I was young and almost still could fill the void. We don't need the past in our lives for tomorrow. Never see the end of the night filled with sorrow. What do we do to love? What do we do to love? What do we do to love?
Welcome back to another episode of Hanging with the Harigs. In this episode, we spend 2 weeks in South Dakota. As we crossed from Colorado into Wyoming, we were greeted by an awesome double rainbow. The double rainbow also followed us right into Nebraska. We were headed to our second ever Harvest Host experience at a place called Papa Moon's Winery. The weather made it difficult, but we finally got to Scottsbluff. To make matters worse, we got there kind of late, so there wasn't really any room for us. And then I jumped on my Campendium app and ended up finding a campground nearby called Captain Critter's Campground. I found this little campground about 3 miles from Walmart. It's a little RV park. But their max rig capacity was 40 feet, and we are 43 feet. So I called and got us in for a pretty cheap price just for the night. It's getting dark now. We're working on leveling out our rig right now, so we can unhook and go eat at 9 p.m. But I'm going to show you where we are here. We're right on the main strip, which puts us at really easy access in the morning to head to South Dakota. But we stayed at Rush No More Campground in Sturgis. It was a great campground with large grassy areas. There was a pool, playground, live music on certain days, and a camping store. The next day we went to the Dinosaur Museum.
Careful, you might walk into a wall. Whoa, this is weird.
That's just...
That a person did this one. Oh, Frank, wait!
Private plane.
Frank, wait, no, Frank.
Oh, I better duck. It's going to get me.
Frank was trying to pick up.
On our way to Mount Rushmore, we saw a field full of elk. We had to stop and turn around. And we were glad we did because we stumbled upon Bear Country, a drive-through wildlife park in Rapid City, just before you get to Mount Rushmore. The park houses many animals, but some of our favorites to see were the Arctic wolves.
Look at him.
Look at him with his teeth. The huge elk, bighorn sheep, pronghorn, mountain lions, buffalo, and of course, the bears. The bears were the best part of the experience. There was so many of them, and they were so close you could put your hand out and touch them. But no one did that, obviously.
It's 93 degrees out. It must be unbearable out there. He's barely breathing. Do you think they're bare naked? There's another one walking down the road. Do you think they have the bare necessities?
Right there.
Yes, this guy's rolling. Is that enough? How do they have sex? Bareback?
Are those the birds? Oh my gosh.
Hey, you!
Hey you! Hey you! Hello! Come in the car!
If we ever come back to this area, we will no doubt come back to bear country. Next up, Mount Rushmore, a bucket list place for both of us. They landed on.
18.
After a good night of sleep, we got up and headed out for another busy day. First stop, Custer State Park. If you're ever in the area, it's a must-see. We heard there was a lot of wildlife in the park, so the boys were trying to call out to find them. And it worked.
Oh, it's delicious.
We came up to find some burros, and they were really friendly, but Dave was the only one willing to get out of the car to pet one. We started down this old dirt road that made us think we may have taken a turn, but then we saw a sign for the Wind Cave National Park.
Excuse me, sir. Do you know where the bathrooms are? Left or right?
He's seen a lot of animals.
The prairie dogs were so cute and definitely one of Easton's favorites.
We found the herd.
Bison were definitely one of the highlights for us. Next, we headed over to Wall Drug Store. Wall Drug Store is a roadside attraction and tourist stop in the town of Wall, South Dakota, adjacent to the Badlands National Park. There's tons of stores, gift shops, restaurants, and fun little things to do and see. Not too far from Wall Drug is now officially my favorite national park, Badlands. When we left the majestic Badlands, we headed home, but we were going a tad over the speed limit, so we got pulled over. Thankfully, the cop was super nice and let us off with a warning, followed by a sticker we now have on the back of our rig.
That's going to stain.
No, it's not. It's soap.
Oh, soap's going to stain.
No. In between sightseeing and working, we also checked out some restaurants, like this one called Spearfish in Rapid City. We were also counting down the days until we got to Lippert to fix our slide that had to stay in everywhere we went. Of course, one day we had to check out Rushmore Mall. There's so much wildlife in South Dakota. The last day trip we took in the area was to Deadwood, South Dakota. The city had its heyday from 1876 to 1879 after gold deposits had been discovered there, leading to the Black Hills Gold Rush. And the city quickly became known for its lawlessness with murders and prostitution. Deadwood was the first small community in the U.S. to seek legal gambling revenue. It's also known to have been through a ton of fires, including one that took out most of the town and had to be rebuilt. On our way home, we stopped by the Black Hills National Cemetery. On our way out of Sturgis, we stopped at a gas station to find some kids feeding prairie dogs. They let us join in and shared the cherries we used to feed the adorable little guys. He's eating it right in front of us. Next stop, Sioux Falls. I don't know why, but I swallowed a fly.
Oh, that's a giant one!
We had 1 week in Sioux Falls, so after work we ventured out. One place we went to that was super cool was Falls Park on the Big Sioux River. We stayed at the Jellystone Park. If you've never been to one of these, they are all about the kids. They're usually full of fun, pool parties, golf cart rentals and bike rentals, cornhole, mini golf, and more. I had the brilliant idea to rent one of these, and I couldn't get it back up the hill, so Dave had to do it.
Pretty hard.
Yes, that was your best shot yet. It's our last day here in Sioux Falls, and we have cleaned out our camper and got rid of a bunch of Easton's toys, a bunch of clothes. We're getting ready to do a Goodwill, Once Upon a Child, Plato's Closet drop. But Easton did a great job getting rid of a lot of toys that he doesn't play with anymore, so we can make room for some, what do we have in storage that we want to bring? Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of cars in it.
A lot of Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
We are getting some gas filling up for us to get on the road tomorrow, and then we're going to roll out here about 15 minutes away to get rid of all this stuff. On our way out of South Dakota, we made a quick stop in Iowa for lunch and gas. And now we're heading to Minneapolis, Minnesota. To see more of our adventures, subscribe to our channel and like our videos. Thanks for hanging with the Harigs.